Yard. 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 Yard.
Hey, hello, I'm Mike Buttonoff again with J&L in the Backyard, and this is Dr. Terry Van Dyke, who works with us about half-time here at J&L out of Perham.
Hello.
We're going to talk a little bit about nitrate toxicity and nitrates in forage today. Terry, have you been receiving some questions about nitrates, and what exactly are they?
Well, this particular year in Minnesota has been an interesting one. We had a lot of rain for a while, now it's gotten dry, and when it gets dry we get a heavier concentration of our nitrates in the lower stalk of particularly corn, and that's what people are looking at, you know, for chopping and green chopping, and maybe they got some corn that's just immature and they don't think it's going to make it, so they want to get it while it's still got some moisture in it. So they're worried about these nitrates. Is it something that they can give to their cows and still be safe?
What are some of the effects if we have some nitrates and we've got a lot of concerns? What are some of the effects you've seen as a veterinarian with nitrate toxicity?
Well, nitrates can be converted to nitrite in the cow, and when that happens, it affects her oxygen carrying ability of the red blood cells. So she's not getting oxygen throughout her system, so it can create a number of things. You can see abortions in cattle. With that, it can have effect as far as the intestinal tract, causing diarrhea. And now with the animal not having good oxygenation, you look at the mucosa of the cow and it'll be more blue or maybe even brownish. And one of the things that you will see is a lot of sudden deaths with it too, if it's high enough concentration. And when the veterinarian comes out and wants to see what killed that animal, one thing he will notice is that the blood has gotten very brown, and that's because of what the nitrate has done to the red blood cells.
With nitrates in forage, it's something we can easily test for with a sample. We can come and get corn from your field. That's what we're primarily concerned about. We can chip it, we can take it fresh off your chopper, and within a few days we can get that back. If we have nitrates, Terry, and we need to feed it, what are some of the things we can do?
Well, dilution is the solution. If we know it's not real heavy on it, we might dilute it with some feeds that are good. One thing when that crop is put up is, particularly we think of corn silage, if it's ensiled for 3 weeks, well, now the nitrates have been cut in half. You don't have to deal with it. And one thing you may want to do too, to ensure proper fermentation, is add inoculants to your corn silage to make sure that that fermentation process is hurried up a little bit and that it also does go through a good fermentation.
Yeah, that's very, very important to consider inoculants all the time, but especially with stressed crops. It can make a big difference.
Yes.
Now we've got the stressed corn in the field. What if we get a rain? What happens right after a rain?
If we get that rain, the nitrate is going to be carried up into the stalk, and then that can create more problems. A lot of times when we just have the dry weather, we just cut it high. We're leaving a lot of the nitrates that are heavily concentrated in the lower portion of that stalk. But now with it rain, now it's going to be heavy throughout the plant, so we want to hold off for a few days before we do any harvesting.
Another thing we need to be very cautious of is not grazing this drought stress material when we don't know the levels and they're varying. I know of cases where there's been extremely high percentages of sudden death within a 12-hour period. From the problems Terry discussed earlier, it can happen that rapidly. Few of the other things that we encourage all the time, but especially when we have some of these issues such as nitrate toxicity, are the products sitting here. Terry, would you like to discuss a few of these things and just how we apply them?
Well, mainly basically what you're doing with these products is getting some good bacteria into that gut. With the nitrates like that, I say it's going to have an effect on the intestinal tract, so we're trying to get some good bacteria back in there. And we have one here that is for calves or younger animals. Have another one that would be more geared to the adult cow, your lactating animals. And then this one too here, just a rumen booster to get the good bacteria back into that gut.
No, so if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to stop in at the backyard, contact us at any time, give us a call, stop in, we'd love to visit with you. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Yard. Yard. Backyard. Yard.